hopefully when you go to college you learn something. And I did. After 35 years of experience in the computer industry, I've gone back to school to get a degree in data security. And as part of my program, I had to do this presentation. So I picked a really soft, easy subject, which I knew a lot about, because that was going to be safe. Because every computer program manager knows that the thing that you teach people is that you never write down a password. Then I actually did the research for the presentation, and I learned that my advice is now obsolete. The experts disagree with what I always thought I knew. So let's spend a few minutes talking about passwords, what they are, what are the problems with them, and some of the things we can do to make ourselves a little safer. Some definitions first. Password is a form of authentication, which is a method of proving to some person or something that you are authorized to perform a certain action. Now the bankers have decided there are three forms or factors of authentication. Something you know, like a password or your mother's maiden name. Something you have, such as your debit card or your car keys. And something you are or do, like your fingerprints, the way you sign your name, what your face looks like. Now the bankers would prefer to have two factors of authentication before they give you money. When you go to the ATM, you have to put in your card, you have to know your PIN number. Similarly, on your driver's license, you have a picture that matches your face, and that's two factors. Now, identity theft happens when someone steals your methods of authentication. And there are two things they can do with that. First of all, they can take your money. Second, they can ruin your reputation. Shakespeare said it this way: good name in men and women, dear my lord, is the ultimate jewel of their souls. He who steals my purse steals trash. 'Twas something nothing, 'twas mine, 'tis his, and has been salved to thousands. But he who filches from me my good name robs me of that which not enriches him, but leaves me poor indeed. Now, on the internet, we typically have only one factor of authentication. That's a password. And the problem with passwords is people choose bad ones. These are samples I've taken from lists of passwords which have been stolen from people. And it turns out the most popular password out there is the Spaceballs password, the same kind of code some idiot would put on his luggage. Also other key patterns, and most people think that password is a great password, so a lot of people put that in. And also the ones your mother hates and the ones your mother loves, and your favorite sports team, and this one's the one you changed 4 times a year by putting the season plus the year number. Those are all bad passwords that are good guesses, but probably your password is not going to be guessed. It's going to be stolen from you, often by having you type it where you shouldn't. After the bad guys steal your password, they're going to use that stolen password on some other website, such as your bank website or a social networking site. The way you get around that is you have a different password for every different website you use on the internet. And if you're an average person, that means you need somewhere between 50 and 100 different passwords. If you're like me, you can't remember that many. So, write them down. Now the trick is you don't write the password down exactly like you type it in. You scramble it up by adding and dropping out letters to the password as you write them down, or change the order, or add a suffix to each password you have written down so there's something you type that the person who picks up your password list doesn't know. Next, you do not keep that password list under your computer keyboard. You don't keep it in your desk drawer. You put it in your pocket along with your credit cards and your car cards. That's where the most valuable things to you are kept. If you're like me and lose pieces of paper, then use a computer program to store your password. These are called password safes. Here's a couple of examples. They use a master password to encode the password they keep on your computer. Make a high quality password, not a guessable password for your master, and remember to back up that file that has your password in it, because if you lose the file, you've lost all your passwords, and update that backup whenever you make changes. If you use more than one computer, you might want to try an online password backup system, a site on the internet. Again, use a high quality master password and make sure that the site that you think you're on is really the site that has your password backed up and not someone else. Here are a couple of the sites that do that. And I'll have links to all this stuff later on. Now, last of all, don't go crazy with your security for your own stuff. It's possible that you try getting yourself more secure than you need to and make your life difficult. Don't do that. Don't put a vault door or a bag vault on your house. And give a copy of your master password, your password list, to someone you love and trust, because they're going to need that in case something happens to you, to be able to keep your bank accounts and things up to date. So here's some stuff that's happening in the future that'll help out. There are some people working on multi-factor identification for websites. And there's something that's been discovered now that we've long known, and that is there's a fourth factor authentication. That's with a person you know. There's material coming out on this, and I'm so excited about it. I've actually started a website of my own, and that's where the documentation for this presentation is at. If you want more information, go to that site. There'll be links to everything on there. And my name is Vernon Cole. Be safe.